podcast. Hey, I'm Ben. I'm here usually, so you probably know who I am. I'm the whiz guy. I'm joined by Chad. He's the boomstick.
Who are you
Hey,
people?
that's me.
That's Liam. He's the Liam guy.
What's up? Sick intro.
You know, see the way we do this every time is I make a really awkward intro, and then Liam's just like, "How do I make this even more awkward?"
Yep.
Yeah, I'm doing something.
This
is craft. This is called fucking art.
This is art.
You guys can
of
roll
course.
with it, or you
All right.
can.
Well, you better give our
let it
guest
crash.
the best intro, Ben.
Yeah,
Well, I mean,
that's fine.
you guys know who he is at this point, right? He's been on the show before. Embu's back. Hey!
What's up, people? How are y'all doing?
Embu, if people did not see the episode that you were on, you want to real quick fill them in on who you are and what you do here?
Of course. So, for those that don't know me, my name is Embu. Go by he, him. But I'm Death Battle's community manager. So, basically, anything in terms of that engages with y'all on the front end, I'm usually behind it. So, if it's tweeting, Facebooking, storying, is that what they do? I think that's what I do.
He's
right?
behind
I tell
the
stories.
front.
Yeah,
I like
yeah,
that.
all of that.
Short sing? No, that doesn't sound right.
Shortson. Especially my favorite role and favorite part of it is being in the Death Battle Discord.
Yes,
Yeah.
which just blew up yesterday because we opened it up to members.
In the good
well-
way, not the bad way.
yes.
Yeah, it
Yes.
detonated.
Yeah, it just obliterated. It's gone.
Turn on the news.
Critical mass.
No, it was great seeing everybody join in yesterday. We'll talk a little bit about that later on in the show. But we also wanted to give a shout out to Desk of Death Battle. First
Let's
episode
go.
just dropped
Yeah.
of this year. Very excited to have Jocelyn back in animated form. There she is. First episode is up. Members got to see it a day early, so if you are not a member, you can
Change
see it
that.
now. Yeah, change that so you can see it early. Speaking of which, I'm seeing a bunch of really cool bronze badges going up in the chat for members, which is awesome to see. Love it. Love to see you guys here. Thank you so much for joining us live. If you're watching this on the archive version, we do this podcast live every Tuesday at 3 p.m. Central Time. And if you join us live, you have an opportunity to vote on the live chat because we are doing a community death battle where you guys get to basically be the main deciding factors in who wins in a fight. This time, me and Embu will be voting because Chad and Liam are going to be duking it out. We also got votes from you guys on the community tab and in the poll that will be up at the end of the show. Okay, so let's talk about what we're doing today. Vash the Stampede, correct?
Yep.
Yeah,
Represented by Chad versus Vincent. Does he have a last name? I don't remember.
Valentine.
Vincent Valentine. That's
The-
right. How
yeah,
did I forget
classic.
that?
Yeah.
Vincent Valentine of Final Fantasy
Everyone's favorite
VII fame.
Ultra emo, late '90s heartthrob.
Yes.
This is one
so-
I've seen requested for like a decade. Like this
Oh,
is
for a
an
very long time.
old request. This is an
Yeah.
old one.
This is a classic one. Very curious to see what you guys think of this matchup, who you think wins, and if we should do this as an actual death battle one day. I don't know. We'll see.
Just from looking into this a little bit, I want to do this as a death battle.
Yeah, I do too.
Like,
I do too.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Okay. Well, I'm curious because I'm not entirely familiar with how this matchup sort of stacks up and like what's going to happen here.
Yeah.
So I'm very curious to see what you guys do and which one of you convinces me who should win. Okay, so here's how this is going to work. It is Chad and Liam's job to convince the jury that they're fighting. In the chat, I got it pulled up right here. I'm looking right at it. Okay, so we are going to begin, as usual, with 60-second opening statements that cannot be interrupted. So
well, technically
Chad,
they
you go-
can,
Chad,
but
you
we're
go
not
first.
supposed to.
they should not be interrupted. We have been a little lax on that lately. Do not interrupt.
There's
Yeah,
rules
Ben.
on this show? You could have
Yeah.
fooled
Ben,
me.
Ben is always
Sometimes.
interrupting me. That's the thing that just grinds my gears.
Oh, yeah. That's what
Ben
happens.
didn't even get his 60 seconds left.
No,
Yeah,
he did,
I didn't even get it
He
last
forfeited
time.
it knowingly. That was not a. I did not talk over that.
Well, that's
All right, so let's start. Well, because someone here, just for
I can
that,
go first, I don't know.
go first, Liam. Let's talk about Vincent
Oh,
first.
okay,
all
great.
right.
Vincent Valentine is a Final Fantasy VII cast member. Both he and Vash are very similar in terms of, they're both gunmen. They both wear red, and they're both incredibly powerful. I would say about the same level of power. Um, the difference is everything else it is in Vincent's advantage. Um, the sheer amount of variety of absolutely broken abilities that Vincent has through his materia and through his evolutionary forms like Galleon Beast and Chaos, um, uh, there is so much, and there isn't the same kind of gameplay limitation in the reality in universe as we have in the games, that there's no reason why he wouldn't just immediately overwhelm Vash. He's also significantly faster, so he's going to have the advantage in a gunfight, and has ways to counter every single thing that Vash has.
Okay.
So succinct.
Okay. Yeah. Very well said. Also, Liam, I didn't interrupt you. Did you see that?
I heard you interrupt me. I
Wow,
heard
okay.
telepathically
Then
you
I
go into my
think-
brain and say, "Shut the fuck up, Liam! You're gonna fuck this up."
I think you might need some help from a sponsor
so
that we'll
weird.
talk about in just a little bit. See, that would have been a great segue if you waited just a couple, 10 minutes.
Okay.
All right, so Chad, let's go ahead and get to your 60 seconds.
Sure. Waiting for it. Okay. Vash the Stampede, the seemingly happy-go-lucky wanderer of no man's land, when in actuality behind that whimsical facade is a god-tier monster. So Vash, while he may look human, is actually a a plant. And plants in this universe are the most overpowered shit that you could possibly imagine. He is not only the most insane marksman I have probably ever seen in fiction, his thinking and reaction is on a Planck level and is so unbelievably quick. He is so intelligent, so powerful, and so fast that I don't think there's anything that Vincent's going to be able to do. Even as Liam said, Vincent might have a speed advantage. Vash has kept up and reacted and countered and stopped people much faster than him, because that is how fast that he thinks. And he has like an instinctual level of defense, which I'll get into a little bit later, with his angel arm, that he doesn't even have to think about to protect him or even attack. So,
Okay.
Okay. Right.
Real quick, because it did come up in the chat, some of our mods are crying now. How far into spoilers do you think we're going to get into Trigun here to get the full extent of Vash's power?
pretty deep.
All of it. All of it. Considering all of the useful shit comes at the end of Trigun, at least according to Chad. All of it.
Yeah.
The point is the majority of Trigun, it's just he's seemingly just this gunman that can never be killed. He's like the tornado, he's the Stampede.
And that's the thing, is that's what's so great. One of the reasons I fell in love with Trigun when I first watched it a million years ago is it is this very fun, happy-go-lucky story about this guy who finds himself in these misadventures, and he somehow always seems to pull it off, right? And then then it starts to get a little bit more serious when a very specific thing happens that I'll try not to talk about. And then you get to the end of the series, and it's just all of the lore and knowledge and all this stuff was actually happening. This is what it's about. And it's just it's a whole different series by the end of it. I never read the manga, but I've found some stuff from the manga that gets even crazier than the series. So it's gonna get wild, and I have to go into some of that stuff, unfortunately.
All right.
Yeah.
All right. Well, sorry, Nubian Princess, but
And spoilers for
ahoy!
Dirge of Cerberus 2, I guess. Everyone's favorite video game.
The best one.
The joke is that it's terrible.
Someone else just mentioned, are we using manga feats or are we using others?
Yeah, why not?
Yeah,
So
of course.
Trigun's a manga.
Yeah.
I'll bet
Definitely.
that.
Manga
Absolutely.
first, right?
Gotcha.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, I guess a
So-
Final Fantasy VII character. Yeah,
Yeah.
Okay.
we're
Well,
gonna need the manga.
JRPG. Yeah.
All right.
I
so,
love that
I
Final
mean,
Fantasy VII is still one of the weaker Final Fantasies overall, but it's still ridiculously fucking strong. I think it's
with Supernova.
Supernova is one of the weak, yeah, because you have X Death in Final Fantasy V. It's going to consume the multiverse and some shit like that. You have they have tons of I'm gonna blow up the fucking universe. I mean, there's universal stuff in Final Fantasy VII too, as well, but it gets pretty nuts in some of them. And I think the only one that's weaker is 6, maybe. Oh, maybe 1 and 2. I don't know.
Well,
maybe it's in the
I
middle.
do want to say J Big Boy in the chat says that they actually really like Dirge of Cerberus, so maybe we're the ones who are
Someone
wrong
had
here.
Hey,
to.
yeah.
Throw
Some for
law of
everybody.
averages.
And we
Someone
got a new
had to buy it.
champion, Tyler. Welcome to the
I
championship.
don't think Dirge of Cerberus is actually
What up,
bad,
Tyler?
bad. Yeah, hey man. I don't think it's actually bad. I think it's just kind of mediocre. It's not Final Fantasy VII. Anyways, Chad, my question for you is in regards to this debate. What defense does Vash have against death, which is a spell that summons the Grim Reaper to instantly kill you?
That's how we're opening this. Okay.
Actually,
cool.
Well, what's pretty interesting about that is because he is a plant, like he does have like non-physical like tangibility. He can actually like interact with non-physical objects, so like a spirit or
Maybe he
energy
could
or a
fight
black
off.
hole.
Yeah.
So he could fight off death, I would imagine.
Maybe the Final Fantasy VII characters can fight like spirits too and stuff, and they
Right.
can't fight off death. They just need to have like kind of like magical resistances to
Yeah,
it.
but he's a plant.
Okay. Can he do that in stopped time? Because stop is also a spell in Final. And I should point out because I know this is a question, or maybe a point of discussion. Every Final Fantasy VII cast member has access to the same pool of materia. There is a decision process in the game where you choose your party, but as following the rules of Death Battle, like we went with Cloud, we're talking about like the best possible version of Vincent. So Vincent is an RPG character. He's technically customizable, but because we're going with the best possible character, we're going to give him everything that he would have access to if you're like playing Vincent the entire game. And with materia, I know in game that there is like a limit to how much materia you can slot into a weapon that you could use during battle. That's just a gameplay. Materia can just be held in your hand, and you can shoot spells from it. Like this is like there are cutscenes where characters do that. It's just an in-game limitation. In reality, there's essentially no limitation whatsoever to using materia aside from MP. But even then, with MP, he has items that can restore fully MP. You can have like up to like 99 of them at once. So that is the only limitation, I would say. It's not even a real significant limitation. Vincent also has the second highest MP and magic stat in the cast.
So the time stop thing is really interesting
Yeah.
because like Vash has been able to resist like a lot of stuff, and I'm wondering like so how does the time stop work? Is it like a hypnosis thing? Is it like a mental thing? Does it just
it's a magical it is a magical spell that stops time.
It's a localized thing though, right? Like it doesn't stop all time.
Well, I don't know.
Stops in space.
We only see in the fight.
See, I'm really curious about that because
so I
like
assume that it's just you stop
Vash
time,
is like the master of like figuring a way out of like any situation, pretty much. Like he realized like this one chick who's like insanely fast was also like hypnotizing him, and so when he figured that out super quick, because that's what he does, he then was able to like hurt his finger and focus on his finger and the pain in his finger, so that he could just not get hypnotized anymore.
Yeah.
And then also like we're gonna get this because you're bringing out some of the bigger stuff right away, so I'll throw this out there. Plants can they quote manipulate the uncertainty that lies in infinitesimal planks, allowing them to manipulate matter on a plank level.
Yeah.
So-
I guess I saw that quote too. What does that literally mean for Vash? Is that like a conscious thing where he's like doing like I'm going to manipulate matter, or is that what that sounds to me as someone that reads a lot of nerd shit? That kind of sounds like the sciencey explanation for why plants can like break the laws of physics as we know them. But I don't know. But does that actually apply to? I think you kind of connected it to like a speed feat, like he can react within plank moments, which is really fucking fast. But
Yeah.
Is that actually what that means? Is my question.
Well, we've seen him react like to people way faster than him, and like let me see. Yeah, I mean, I couldn't find like the specific panel for that one. Where
Sure.
This is where it is.
Yeah.
But
I
they're
will
just
say-
like,
yeah.
I mean, I could see it being a justification for just like the ridiculous stuff that they do.
Yeah.
I mean, one of the quotes on there was plants in general bypass the laws of physics.
Yeah, I would say that's
and I
pretty
think when it comes down to like the closest example you could see with Vash is like when he uses his angel arm to infuse a bullet, which is ridiculous. Here, I want to bring this panel up just because it's so fun. Mike, let's see. I should have jotted down the names. Will you bring up Vash Black Hole 1? I don't know why I needed to jot down the names when they're self-explanatory. Okay, so basically, I think he's fighting Knives, and Knives is throwing this insane attack at him with like a million blades that are coming at him on like all levels. And so that bullet you see in the bottom left corner in the previous panel, he just like touched it for a second and infused it. So next panel, please. Should be Black Hole 2. So he either shoots the bullet or throws it. I couldn't tell. And then,
well, it like blows up and the bullet like explodes into a black hole, right?
yes, then it explodes into this black hole, right? Shredding everything that was coming at him. But here's the crazy part. On the next panel,
Yeah.
it is described as, oh, that's too blurry for me, but I can pull up mine. A thin blade that can cut through billions of flattened dimensions.
Excuse
Not
me?
even dust will remain.
That's
So-
great.
Just by him touching a bullet and then tossing it out there, it is destroying things on a billion dimensional plane.
That's awesome.
Is that accurate? Is that not like a that sounds like a mistranslation to me.
No, it's not.
I mean,
It's not.
it is a black hole.
Trust
so
me, bro.
It's not crazy.
A billion
that...
dimensional Wait, what is the word? What is the phrasing again? Sorry.
Oh, I just closed
A
it.
billion what? A billion flattened dimensional planes? Is that what you said?
It is a thin blade that can cut through billions of flattened dimensions.
What does that even mean? What is a flattened dimension?
Yeah, I have no idea. I mean, okay, look.
Is it
it's
talking
a
about how
black
many
hole, right? So it is
Yeah.
affecting it does affect space, like even like normal black holes. And these are like super black holes. I think you can make a
Super
case for
black
the black
holes,
hole
yep.
bullet being like bypassing durability. I think you could make a case, and this is going to sound like, oh, Liam is ceding ground, but this is a strategic ceding of ground. You should be sweating right now, Chad. But I think that if Vincent got hit by the black hole bullet, there's unless we like investigated it and found something different, I think it would be a one-hit kill. The thing with Vincent though is that he has so many one-hit kills.
Mhm.
Like, can Vash survive being turned into a frog? Because he can just turn people into frogs in Final Fantasy.
What do we do if death comes toward him? What about
Yeah.
time stop? What if he was a frog?
Yeah. Could he survive being put to sleep or turned tiny? How well
See,
is his aiming going to be
well-
if Vincent uses confuse on him and prevents him from knowing what the fuck is going on?
Okay, well,
You
see,
know?
that's okay, and that's what's so interesting about this fight is like how much of him being a plant would allow him. How does that interface with
Okay.
magic, right? Because
Sorry, I
Sorry, go ahead.
gotta stop you real quick. What the hell does him being a plant even mean?
It's like an
Yeah.
alien, right?
It-
We've
it's
talked
basically-
about, we've
yeah,
mentioned it
sorry.
several times. It's like, all right,
all right.
Not
So
so is
literally.
he
just
just
a
like a
lima bean?
bush that came to
Basically,
life and has some guns?
basically like pre-humanity, before things got bad or whatever, like created these plants that were sentient, and they were basically essentially used for like infinite energy, and they're like crazy overpowered. And then so those were non-independent plants, and then a couple plants became independent, or they were made independent so that they could take care of the other ones. I forget which one. And
It's
they were
more
in a
like
spaceship.
a power plant is the idea, yeah.
Yeah,
Like, that's
exactly,
the-
like-
it's less of like they're not like a shrub. It's like a different kind of life form that kind of like the androids.
Kind of like the
in,
Matrix, if the people were
kinda-
plants and like had god tier
There you go.
superpowers.
kind of like the
Interesting.
androids in Dragon Ball, because I don't want anybody to take that infinite energy out of context. They produce like an unending source of energy. They're like Vash finds one in the anime that's like, or in the manga that's like hooked up to like a machine that's powering this city. I think. that's
Yeah.
what happened.
Barry
It's like- and it's like,
in the
this is
chat,
fucked
I
up.
agree. I don't know what the heck is going on with this either.
Well, so- but
half
just
of the
all-
stuff that's I don't know how you're taking all
Right.
this in Embu, but like I'm just hearing a bunch of stuff that's just
alien
going out
plant,
the other ear.
alien plant man allows him to do crazy stuff, right? Like, and that's why I'm curious about like how that interfaces with magic, right? Because like the way that he's able to like kind of like grab onto a black hole, or just literally turn a bullet into a black hole, right? Or like for example, there's another guy he fights, Legato, who like can literally like take over your body, and like he can control like groups like of people at one time, and like literally make them all kill each other, or just literally like break all their bones, right? And so
As you
he
do.
yeah, as one does. And so Vash, by the end of the series, is able to like literally resist this, as his like bones are like all like getting snapped back. He like literally just like pulls it all back together and just resists it and then goes and like and then fights. And it's I'm like, it's very interesting to me to see like how magic would interface with Vash.
I'll
right?
say this.
I've
is
seen
my
I've
thought
seen
on
a
it.
handful of comments already that this is just like Gurren Lagann. This man could just say no you and just choose not to.
Yeah.
I'll say this in regards to that. I don't think, based on what you've said, there's enough to say. Like just because he can kind of break the laws of physics, like every character, every superhero breaks the laws of physics in a sense, right? If they're doing something that's not physically possible, I don't think it's enough to say that it would like cancel out or resist, unless he has like a specific resistance to something, like specifically resists X, Y, or Z. He would have a resistance to like magical spells from Final Fantasy. But even if he did, if you were to equalize those and say, hey, those are they're working from the same kind of, it's a close enough magic system, then that would also mean that Vincent can resist everything that Vash could do, because stuff like spells like resist or dispel or debury or the ribbon like completely nullify status effects, completely nullify those hacks' crazy abilities.
Well, what's interesting is with the angel arm, Vash could actually cut someone off from all of their senses.
That's cool.
Okay.
But
I'm gonna pause this here because
Ben's
we
gonna
are.
pause us.
I feel like
we're just getting started.
Yeah, we're just getting started.
We haven't even. I thought we were gonna be talking about like guns, and then like with expert aiming and whatnot. And we're like, no, they can like change reality. And what's
okay, I mean,
okay, so real quick, I do want to pause this real quick and sort of take in everything that's been said as I thank our first sponsor for this week's episode, because holy crap, I need a moment to like to just process all the stuff that's been talked about. All right. So our first sponsor, now for a word from BetterHelp. Life is full of twists and turns, stress, changes, grief, moments of growth, and moments where we feel like we're taking a few steps back. And it's important to show up for yourself through all the struggles that life can bring. BetterHelp Online Therapy is here to help. To access your needs and match you with your own licensed professional therapist in less than 48 hours. Sign up, you can get matched in less than 2 days. That's kind of wild. BetterHelp is online therapy that offers video, phone, and even live chat only therapy sessions. So you don't have to see anyone on camera if you don't want to. And in general, BetterHelp is more affordable than in-person therapy. And it's super easy to sign up. Just go to the website and get started. Everything's pretty user-friendly there. So if you're looking for something like this, it's absolutely worth checking out their website. And we've got a special deal just for you. Our listeners get 10% off their first month at betterhelp.com/cast. That's betterhelp.com/cast. Go check them out. Thank you so much, BetterHelp, for sponsoring Death Battle Cast. All right, we can get back to this crazy debate.
Like BetterHelp is an amazing resource, and if anybody's out there really has been thinking about it, you've been on the fence, like go for it, do it. I have friends that I've recommended BetterHelp to, and it's been super, super helpful. There's a lot of shit going on in the world, and especially these past few years, it just seems to not stop, huh? So
even if it's not like
everyone could use a little bit of help.
That's
even
one
if you
way
don't
of putting
think
it.
you're like necessarily like need it right now, it's always it's always something good to have. It's always something good to cleanse the emotional palate, as it were, week to week. It's awesome.
Yeah.
Speaking of,
what's up, Embu?
Yeah, I was saying I've used it before, and I would like to advocate anecdotally that it's just like an ability to gain tools that you never apply to your own because you never knew them, and it never hurts to be taught.
And they help pay for one of your favorite shows.
Yeah.
Literally, who could pick a better deal? Yes.
What are your shows where we might need it afterwards because our minds are breaking just thinking about this ridiculous plant stuff.
Yeah. I'll tell you what. So I was gonna ramp up to that, but Liam, I know Liam wanted to get into like the meat of it because he loves to do that.
Potatoes.
But if you guys want to know, if you want to talk a little bit about like just the ridiculous accuracy and stuff, like I was gonna lead into an accuracy. It's insane. Like. So there's a panel. I didn't grab it because I didn't want to overload Mike with a bunch. But basically, he's like shooting a target, and he puts like thousands of rounds into this target, all within like 4 bullet holes. And it was just to show off because the guy is just like he did it without hitting a single vital organ. He shot all of the rounds through the same bullet hole. And it's like, he's like, and he says, quote, he can shoot thousands of rounds and never miss.
I have
And
a
then
pretty crazy one. This is in Final Fantasy VII. Vincent, once he's leveled up enough, gets a, and I quote, 255% accuracy rate.
Of course.
Think about
What
that.
does
for a
that even
moment.
Wait a minute. After
How
How
is
is
that
that
not-
even fucking possible? 100% is perfect. It means you never miss your
Yeah.
target. He has 200.
he's 2.5 times perfect.
How do you successfully hit things more than twice as
It's
often
because
as you actually
have
shoot?
abilities that lower your accuracy, so you can build
Right.
up enough accuracy that even if you have an ability that lowers your accuracy, something like, I think there's something called Death Blow, which I think inflicts death. You'll still hit like no matter what.
I mean, 250% accuracy implies that when you fire a single round, you're actually firing 2.5.
You're hitting them 2.5
Like-
times with one bullet.
Like, how does
Breaks
that
the
work?
laws of
Yeah,
reality.
it hits one, splits in half, bounces off something, and hits it on the
Yeah.
ricochet.
It
They
goes
couldn't
through,
miss
then
if they
comes back.
tried.
I also
couldn't
think what's
miss if they
important, and this is in regards to accuracy, right? Because I could shoot a scarecrow in the field, but I couldn't shoot a photon, because one's moving a lot faster than the other.
Wow, that is an extreme comparison.
extreme
Well,
difference,
it's on the
right?
scale, though.
Yeah.
Sure.
How fast, Chad? How fast is Vash? The fastest feat that I know of, and you could correct me. The fastest feat that I know of is the angel arm, like firing, I think, to the moon within like a couple seconds. It's like kind of an instantaneous thing, like really fast. Is that?
Yeah,
what
it's
is the
super
fast?
fast, and it depends on what are you looking for, like his like physical speed or like reaction. Because like, so his angel arm is independent. Basically, once it was created,
Yeah.
its job is to protect him,
Yeah,
whether
it's
that's
an automatic.
defensive or offensive. And like he could literally be knocked out, mutilated, and his angel arm will still defend and attack.
Gotcha. Okay. Cool. So that's going to be like shooting from the Earth to the moon or whatever, that kind of distance is going to be like around light speed, maybe a couple times the speed of light, which is really, really fucking fast. Let's not get it twisted. In Link
I knew
versus
this
Cloud,
was coming. Yeah.
we determined that Cloud scaling to Bahamut Fury, who could fly between planets within a very short amount of time, was at least 1,200 times the speed of light, potentially 12 million times the speed of light if it's coming from a different solar system. And that's not it. That's not all. Red 13 has a spell or attack called what the fuck is it called? Cosmo Memory, I think is what it was called. Yeah, Cosmo Memory, which summons like energy from different stars that are in different solar systems, and that was calced to like 66 million times faster than light. So speeds like that are actually pretty consistent. That's like okay, yeah, Vash is really smart. He could fight somebody that's faster than him, but it's all relative, right? Like,
Well,
he's not
you
going
would
to fight someone 1,000 times faster, especially since Vincent has haste, which makes himself faster, and has slow, which makes his opponent slower.
Okay. You're gonna make me bust out the big feet now. I wanted to still go through the
No,
fun stuff. Like,
we're over halfway
Yeah.
done, Chad. I need you to start getting the big beats if you haven't.
all
No more holding
right.
back.
Let's see. Okay, well, fine. Let me.
All
talk
right,
about-
now it's time to move on to our next segment. What's going on?
Oh, it actually did.
Yeah. What the
Our
hell?
next segment. You guys didn't have anything important to talk about, right?
Yeah,
No.
I definitely do.
What's going on?
Well, we've
is
got
Chad's
something
feet.
else important to talk about. A Discord is here, and people are joining, and it's really freaking cool. Right, Embu?
It sure is. It sure is. I couldn't even begin to tell you how much fun we had yesterday during the mixer. I never seen so many people flood in, and the hype was so real. If you were in the jungle, if you were there, and if you know, you know. But those people were just so happy. Y'all were there. I have to ask, Ben, what was your opinions when things were going on?
Watching people flood in. So members can join the Discord. We're going to be opening up every week to members. And just watching people flood in and start interacting with everybody.
So cool.
And seeing a lot of people mention how so far it's working out very wholesomely. Everybody's being nice. And that is something that is very important to us to make sure that we're keeping this a very positive community. I know people think versus communities and tend to think, oh, eventually it just like crumbles or whatever. But we are making sure that there are resources available, people there to ensure that this is going to be a positive community overall. And we are committed to that. So it's working out great so far, and I love it.
Yeah.
Honest,
Eventually,
I mean, like,
all members will be able to get in. We're just doing this kind of like slow trickle just to make sure we can maintain the civility and everything goes well.
Exactly. Like I couldn't put it more better than y'all, more better the way you could talk. But the people
Nailed
that
it.
we were, the people that we worked with, like we're like honestly stewards of like the foundation that they built. And so coming in and what we wanted to do, and hopefully, you know, honoring their wishes, it's just that's the goal. And we kind of recognize that as we're talking and as we're game planning different events like live death battle debates, live commentaries, you might even get to, you know, pick up the sticks, play us in Smash Bros. If I'm playing, you won't. But you know, either way, you can play us in all kinds of games. We do. But there's so many different exciting things that we have planned out. We're going to be releasing a bi-weekly update soon, so be on the lookout for that. But all of it, of course, is kept within the context of we are going to be blazing the trail for a versus community space that is good and people well. I think it shouldn't be a low bar, but we're going to raise that up.
Seeing a few people in the chat talking about it. Media Angel saying it was too hectic at first, but looking forward to checking out there often. Yeah, obviously during those periods
when the floodgates were open.
Floodgates are open. There's a lot of people talking. Totally understand if you look at that and you're like, oh gosh, there's so much going on. A bit too much for me, but fully expect when floodgates get closed each week that it levels off and stuff. And so it looks like it's doing just that right now. And there's all sorts of like different channels and conversations and activities going on in the Discord server. So there's something for everybody, or at least we're trying to make sure that there's something for you to enjoy and experience, regardless of what part of this community you want to really interact with.
Exactly. I mean, also big shout out to my mod team. All of y'all know how great these have been, and these folks have been working with us, and they're only gonna continue to show out in the great ways they do. And don't feel compelled to stick to one channel. I mean, there's little channels in there, like Ben was saying. I sometimes I get lost in the thumbnail channel, just like daydreaming about what hypothetical death battles could be in. But that's just
make sure you check out the Hall of Ben.
Oh yes, big shout out. Hey, I think why is that still a thing?
We might have started as an April Fool's joke and then it never stopped.
Well, yeah, that's from like a decade ago. I think that started before Death Battle, right? Like it's like old school.
Oh, that was the Ben face room.
Yeah, that's where it's like the origins of it.
We had a guy redesign our office in Gmod, and he didn't know, we never showed what was in a certain room, but he also saw the door, so he just made it a room and put Ben's face, all like plastered it, like wallpapered it.
As it should.
It was very funny.
Yeah, Hall of Ben is Duplate X is not what you think it is. It is I don't visit it.
It's a lot of Ben face photoshops.
It's very awkward for me. No, it's a lot of fun. Man, it's looking really great so far. I'm really enjoying seeing it work out. And yes, I know. So a couple of people in the chat mentioned that's a first for Discord, actual positive community. That's why we are being very careful with it and like really focusing on it and making sure. And Mbu, you shout out to the mod team who are doing a fantastic job, but you are too, man. It's been so cool
for sure.
And I'm very proud of what you've been able to accomplish with the team, both RT and the mods and whatnot. So many people are working to make this work, and they know what they're doing better than I do. Better than I know how this works.
Mbu's been working hard and kicking ass. He and his whole team.
It's a team effort, and at the end of the day, all of y'all in the server too. You know, y'all are empowered. Y'all can help us make the community we want to see, right? So, be that person.
The only other channel I'll shout out is if you guys, since you're watching Death Battle Cast, there's a Death Battle Cast channel. So like if you want, like sometimes they'll debate while we're talking, like they're probably doing that right now. But then also like the debate can go on afterwards, you know, like, oh, I thought this point or this point, and like well, maybe this is a good matchup. It's really cool to see how like after we finish Cast, the conversation still goes on. So.
Wow, Liam is looking particularly handsome today. I get that a lot. I get that one a lot. So if you want to,
but you're not typing
absolutely.
No, he's the one typing it though.
Yeah. All of my dummy accounts.
His fleet
I'm
of dummy
at it
accounts.
right now, and they are not talking about
which
you
if you work for Death Battle, is a literal dummy account. Don't laugh.
Good
That
one.
wasn't funny.
Oh my
No,
god, that
no
was
one-
terrible. I'm
no,
laughing at just
don't
how,
fucking laugh.
how horrible that was.
Hey, positivity, y'all. I'm here for it.
Yeah,
I'll give
yeah,
it to
yeah,
you.
yeah.
I'll give it to
No,
you.
I
Positivity
mean
would be
we're at a
shutting
really low
down
point now in the show.
your
I think we
attempts
need to
at,
move on.
comedy.
Let's get back to it.
All
Yeah,
right,
Chad,
so please
impress me.
keep an eye on our social channels and the Discord so that you can join. Members are able to join right now. It is exclusive to members just to maintain that community and not have like a horde of people come in who we don't necessarily want to ruin the experience for everybody, of course. So there's a lot being done to make sure that it is a positive experience for everybody who joins.
You don't want everybody to be talking about how attractive.
Exactly.
At a certain
Exactly.
point, it
It's
becomes
too much.
ridiculous.
That'd be
and
even one.
creepy.
It's like, ugh.
But just like a little bit, and sending me money over PayPal or Venmo. That's also
Anyway, let's get
Let's-
back to
a lot
the
of that,
community
but,
death battle.
we don't.
Can we get back to the
Mike,
universe
please get us
exploding,
back to
please?
the community death battle. There it is. Thank you.
You can send me money. You can send it.
No, don't.
Send Liam money.
Don't send Liam money.
You take away one thing from this episode.
It's to
Don't
send
send Liam
send Liam money.
money.
All right, so Chad,
Yeah,
Yeah.
get to your.
before
You want to go to the crazy?
so
to that funny
I'll tell you
defiantly
what, before I
interrupt
go to the
you.
crazy feed, I just want to show this because I grabbed the panel because it's silly and ridiculous, and also like shows like just his reaction and like the way that he can like he's like super Captain America and like tracking like physics. It's like Superman level of like I can see where this is gonna go here. I can shoot this thing to deflect this thing or do whatever. Right? This one just for funsies. He wanted to get a better shot on this guy who has a cannon arm, so he was like taunting him into shooting a cannon. I'm gonna bring up Vash Cannon real quick. So funny. So he taunts this dude. The guy fires the cannonball. Vash intentionally rolls his leg across it as it's coming by him, which causes him to spin in a spiral, flying past Wolfwood all the way so that he can slide backwards, get a better shot, shoot the guy's cannon arm into knocking the other guy behind him unconscious.
Wait. What? I don't even know if I followed that.
Like he literally like used the cannonball's velocity to sidestep it and roll his leg across it to send him spinning. Those circles in that panel right there in the middle, that's Vash spinning
him.
past Wolfwood.
Yeah.
Because he just like
Okay.
adapted the cannonball's velocity. Anyway, that was just for fun.
Vincent can tank Supernova, Sephiroth Supernova, which is a supernova. That's my little
Gotcha.
tidbit.
So but here's
It's
the
pretty
crazy
impressive,
thing.
to be honest. I mean,
I don't know, dude.
Well, here's the crazy thing, and this is why like I don't understand like Vash is his brain works at like just a speed and a level that somehow allows him to keep up with like the most ridiculous shit. And so you're talking about like you're like, yeah, people are like way faster than him, but you're
Thousands
like,
to
what about
millions of
somebody's like
times.
1,000 times faster than him? Well, I thought I knew Vash the Stampede, and then I started doing some more research, and I was like, wow, the manga got wild. And so what I came across was, can you bring up Universe 1? Like,
Yeah.
this-
I love Ash's face.
All right.
I think
Oh, I
it's
know.
this.
Okay.
Yeah, here we
okay.
go.
So I censored the nip. I censored the nip. Sorry, everybody, but there's the Trigun cat. I had to work it in where I could.
Hell yeah.
Okay. So basically, this lady's another plant. She gets pregnant with Vash's child. Unsure of the circumstances that led to that. Okay. Now
so
she starts
two plants,
talking about.
bang it out
She's like,
and make a baby plant.
yeah.
Is that how plants reproduce?
So I somehow it's happening, but she apparently has a womb. So she goes, it can't hold this energy anymore and has begun collapsing. It will condense to 1,000th of its current size, a micro black hole organism. It is trying. It's trying its best in my womb, but when it will be born, it will move at the speed of 40,000 kilometers per hour and explode in 100th of a second. Cosmic inflation, then a big bang. And so Vash is realizing this as she's explaining. Our universe will be sucked in, and a new universe will be born. Okay. So she's telling him as this is beginning, and at the same time he's realizing what's going to happen. Go to the next panel. He fired a shot so fast into this collapsing micro black hole universe bomb womb that he literally finishes as he has the thought. He then responds, a new universe was created. My child was born, and this man didn't give up a single thing. And she goes, In that instant he held the gun, Vash performed more calculations than I did, more than I, who did nothing but think for 200 years. And he goes, sorry to be rude, Miss Plant, but I too have all of eternity on my hands.
I am.
He, at the same time, into this, he somehow shot a bullet and had it change. He calculated the way to shoot a bullet to stop this universal explosion from consuming their own universe and instead just creating another universe.
I am not.
Why
So,
didn't they show?
Hang on. If I'm understanding this correctly,
firing the gun.
the plant baby was born, fired out at super light speed or whatever, initiated a Big Bang. He fired a bullet at the Big Bang to reverse it in on itself,
Or
to create or to shoot it into another dimension.
He fired it at the black hole, which was going to create a Big Bang, but hadn't yet.
And managed to somehow
that's
do the
important.
calculations.
So he shot the black hole in a way that turned the black hole. I'm assuming that in this universe, black holes connect to other dimensions. That might not be the case, but in a way that would turn the black hole in on itself to go into the other dimension.
But it was already going to
explode.
create a new universe. It was just going to suck our universe in with it. And he somehow ran the math in his head that this other plant lady has been like, I thought for 200 years how to prevent this from happening, but it's going to happen, and it's happening now. And then he just like, as he realizes this, he's like, oh, I know how to solve it, bam. Like, and then somehow
Okay. Let me comment.
Honestly, I'm not even sure what is the most.
He shot a
absurd
universe
part.
into existence.
Yeah, I'm not even sure what's the most absurd part: the calculations or the fact that he solved it by just shooting a black hole. I don't understand.
I
read this
I hate
like
to be a,
so
I hate to
many
be
times.
a party pooper because I am looking at this feat and I have known about this feat before, but you're actually explaining it to me now in a way that I actually kind of understand, because before it was like, I don't know what I'm looking at.
Do you understand?
I think I do.
I don't understand.
I think I do. Vash has black hole bullets that can explode into black holes. It's like his
Right.
most powerful, or
Was that
one
what
of
he's
his most
firing?
powerful attacks. That's what he's firing.
He's firing
So he
black hole
shot
into
it
a black hole.
He shot a miniature black hole at another miniature black hole to cancel it out, to prevent their universe from being sucked in.
Okay.
I don't think, and again, these are two manga panels, and I feel like, or pages, and I feel like there's maybe a page in the middle that we're not seeing, unless that is like, that's the idea, is that you turn the page, and
I didn't find one.
Climax is done,
I would love
fuckers.
to see the source, because I had that same moment, because I had to read
Yeah.
this so many times. I'm like, what the fuck is happening?
What the fuck is happening? I don't think he actually I don't think that speed would scale to like a Big Bang happening. I think he shot the black hole before it turned into a Big Bang that created a new universe. Again, I'm not saying that's not fucking insane. It's like spatial warping and it's two black holes being fired at one another. I'm saying that I think that feat, the universe creation feat, was going to happen over some. It might be long, it might be small, but not an instantaneous I'm stopping the universe. I'm stopping a universe right now. It was a chain reaction thing. It's gonna create a black hole, which is gonna shrink. It's gonna condense, and then it's gonna explode and create a new universe or something like that.
I think it was in the process.
Still
though.
crazy.
Yeah,
but
I mean, explaining it that
like,
way
I don't
doesn't
know
necessarily
how-
make it less impressive. It just helps it be understandable.
Yeah.
Because
Well, I'm just saying,
he still calculated a billion things all at once in order to understand when and how to shoot it with this. It sounds
also,
like
I don't know how
it sounds
far
like the only
away-
reason why she wasn't able to actually figure this out is because she just didn't have the tool that he has. The black hole.
Yeah, it's a gun. Why does this man need a gun at all?
Yeah, right.
It's the way he
But
focused. Exactly.
she's a plant. She would have been able to make black holes. She thought for 200 years about how to prevent this. Vash is 150, by the way. So he is a lot of combat experience.
Wait.
Yeah.
If she thought for 200 years, and he's 100, how old is he?
He's 150.
And he's 150 years old. How did they?
She could be older than 200 years.
But how was she
Oh,
thinking
I see what you're
200
saying.
years if he?
He might
He's
be
the
older. He
father
might be
of-
older at this point. I don't know. He might be older at that point. in the
Anyway, it's a weird thing to transition to from all of that. But let's talk about Blue Chew, one of our other sponsors, real quick.
I'll bring up my counter to it after. 'Cause I
All
got
right,
more to
yeah,
say.
'cause
Oh my God.
we need to start wrapping this up and get to the poll just a bit because there's so much to talk to. But I do want to thank Blue Chew for sponsoring this episode. So feeling confident can take you far in life, especially when it's time to step up to the plate. You know what I mean. That's where Blue Chew comes in. Blue Chew is a unique online service that delivers the same active ingredients as Viagra and Cialis, but as a chewable tablet and at a fraction of the cost. The process is simple. Sign up at bluechew.com, consult with one of their licensed medical providers, and once you're approved, you'll receive a prescription within days. And it's all done online, so no doctor's office, no awkward conversations, and no going to the pharmacy. So if you could benefit from the extra confidence when it's time to perform, Blue Chew can help. And we've got a special offer or a special deal just for you. Try Blue Chew free when you use our promo code DBC at checkout. Just pay $5 shipping. That's bluechew.com, promo code DBC to receive your first month free. Visit bluechew.com for more details and important safety information. Thank you, Blue Chew, for sponsoring this podcast, even as it goes completely off the rails into stuff that is very difficult to understand.
Thanks, Blue Chew.
Yeah, okay.
You should see how big his arm can get.
Do I want
Yeah, that's
to?
how you connected it. Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
he cratered the moon and then basically said he could have destroyed the whole planet.
So-
Decimated the entire
Vincent,
planet.
Vincent also in his final fight with Omega created an explosion that completely covered the Earth's like the Earth's surface, like at least one side of it was like this massive explosion of energy that created. So yeah, that definitely even visually the same kind of power. But okay,
It's
so
your boy Thrawn. It's your boy Thrawn. In the chat says, Ben, don't overthink it. That's what I'm here to do, right?
Yeah,
Yeah,
That's kind of what I just do
There's
here.
you can't overthink it.
I have to overthink this in order to figure out who wins, right?
Over prepare for a.
I
rocket
don't
launch.
want to though.
So okay, let's get into Vincent's power feats. Okay, so Vincent obviously can fight Sephiroth. He can be one of the party members that fight Sephiroth, and thus can survive a supernova to his face, which is, in terms of energy output, equivalent to what you would get from like firing a black hole at someone's face. But Vincent didn't stop his progress there. Oh, I also want to point out his gun death penalty is a gun that gets stronger the more people it kills. In game, it's like a mechanic where if you kill more people, like in the encounter, it'll get more powerful. But in lore, it's gotten more powerful by like absorbing their souls after he kills them, like cumulatively, to the point where you can actually one-shot Emerald Weapon, which is one of like the like end game bosses. Like you can one-shot him with death penalty. Anyways, continuing on, he fights Sephiroth, but because his story actually continues past the end of Final Fantasy VII into everyone's favorite game, Dirge of Cerberus, he actually gets stronger than that. He also has summons, which for someone like Vash, who is a marksman that needs to be able to hit his enemies, he's not only dealing with someone much faster than him, so it's gonna be nearly impossible to hit Vincent to begin with. He also has multiple people to deal with, like Knights of the Round. I bring up Knights of the Round specifically because it's the strongest summon, I think, or at least the strongest summon you can use, and it's fucking awesome, and it takes 10 years to watch. And at the very end of it, King Arthur, you get just obliterated by the Knights of the Round. Swings so hard that his attack actually shatters the dimension that you are brought to when you summon summons, you're brought to like this other dimension. We talked about this in I think Sephiroth episode. He actually swings so hard that he shatters the dimension, like Gogeta Broly. It's exactly like that. Like it shatters like glass. And those dimensions have like stars and galaxies in the background. So even if you want to put Vash and say Vash like countered the energy of a universe versus just countering the energy of another black hole, like before the universe is formed, if you want to scale it up to universe level for Vash, do the same thing for Vincent. And he's a shitload faster, and he has attacks like Frog and Death that would cause instant death regardless of attack output. I also want to bring up something. Can you bring up that first universe page again? Because Chad unwittingly provided the means of his own defeat.
What is this?
What?
Chad,
Oh?
when I've seen Vash, his hair is usually blonde.
Oh, I know what you're talking
it's
about.
black.
This never.
Why
this
is that?
almost never happens.
Okay, but what is it representative of? Why is his hair
It
black?
means that he's
Chad?
getting close to running out of energy.
And
Um.
yeah,
So this is like pretty much the only way you could kill a plant is to have them expend so much energy that they don't have anymore and can't. They're also constantly absorbing energy. So if for any like lightning or like high energy based attacks were used, Vash could actually absorb.
It is literally a play off
some
of
of it.
photosynthesis in a way.
Yes, 1000%.
Exactly.
But if they expend all energy, like all of it, then they can die.
So the intent, the idea being that in order to do this calculation, it took almost all of his energy.
Yeah, the sign that like they're getting a little close to that is their hair starts to turn black.
And I think that's I think one of the biggest points against Vash and in favor of Vincent. Vash can throw these humongous attacks at Vincent, but they're not attacks that Vincent would be unprepared for in terms of like utility or in terms of level of power. And secondly, he can't do it forever. Whereas Vincent can throw out his biggest attacks and continually replenish health, continually replenish MP. And actually, as the fight goes on and he starts using limit breaks, he gets stronger. Vincent is a character that, as the fight goes on, he gets stronger and stronger and stronger and gets more and more abilities. And that's his big advantage.
Right. But here's the thing, too. Vash has like a tremendous pool of energy due to all of the time when he was just like effing around in the waste. Yeah. Like Knives was like using some shit, right? Like, Vash, like, he was a pacifist. He didn't want to kill. And so he just was basically compiling energy all this time, which is why he's so insanely powerful. But so much so that his pool is so large. So, like, why don't we pull up that first panel again? Right? The universe panel. Because as you pointed out, his hair is black in the panel as he's realizing what's happening, then still manages to pull off this crazy feat while already being depleted of energy, and it still didn't kill him.
I want to point out
what caused him to have black hair at this point? Do you know?
Don't know.
Okay.
Unfortunately.
So something else happened before this that drained all his energy, or most of his energy, and he was still able to do this thing.
Yeah. We also don't see all of his hair. Like, his hair turns black, like
from the roots up?
Like it grows over. So for all we know, the back of his hair could be blonde or something. I don't know. But his hair does turn black over the course of the series. And as he uses stuff like the angel arms and the automatic angel wings, even though they are automatic, even though they do operate independently of him, Vincent's still faster and could stop time before they're able to actually go out and block.
Point on the stop thing. I did look it up. It is on a target, so it is a person, not all.
Oh, that's right. Okay, you're right.
It is also does have a 60% chance of success. There's a chance that it could fail.
Interesting.
Okay.
Yeah, I think you can also have resistance.
We are running out of time. We need to get to the actual.
I'm good. I'm good leaving it here. I think this is a good. Let everyone.
Yeah.
We've both talked about how ridiculous these characters are.
I think we've covered everything except for what everybody thinks of with these characters normally.
Yeah.
All right. I've also seen a lot of people in the chat talking about like certain things about Vash make it sound like maybe Yoko Littner would be a better matchup for. Certain things about Vincent, maybe Alucard would be a better matchup for it. So I'm very curious to see what you guys think in regards to what matchup with these two characters would be a cool death battle in the future. It sounds like there's a lot of potential options here. But okay, we're gonna get started on the actual voting, where Embu and I are gonna have to figure out who we're gonna vote for, because I have no idea. I'm really not sure. So hopefully the answers that you guys have provided will help clear that up. Let's go ahead and bring up the first community poll answer or community tab answer.
You're the community manager. Why don't you read these?
All right. So the first one reads from David Marklin. Gonna go with Vincent. He has his heart replaced with materia, so basically unlimited mana. He beats Nero, a guy who fights in his own dimension and attacks with black holes. Lastly, there's the fact the entire Final Fantasy VII cast can tank a supernova, which we've gone over. I gotta give him the edge.
I didn't even know that stuff. Not only does he have infinite MP, effectively, he also has fought somebody that uses black holes.
I didn't know that stuff.
When was his heart replaced with materia? Was that in? I don't know. I've never played Dirge.
Who vetted these answers?
All right. Let's go ahead and bring up the other answer.
All right, from
correct these.
Vash's whole arm turned into a cannon. Vash's whole arm, turned into a cannon that put a hole in through the moon and its only weakness is that Vash hates it.
That's like a low ball feat. Like, wait, come on.
Well, now I'm convinced.
Well, its only weakness is that it fucking kills him.
All right. It is time for the voting. Let's go ahead and start. Well, we're going to go ahead and start making the poll in the chat, but we can go ahead and bring up the community tab poll up first. Get the first vote in. And it is Vash,
Ooh.
68%. Okay.
I'm surprised. I thought
Vash
it'd be
gets
closer.
the first vote.
I don't think a lot of people like think of Final Fantasy VII as being like a really, really strong JRPG.
Yeah, well,
I don't think it has that reputation. Whereas Vash is like, fuck yeah, he blows up the moon.
but
kinda
it's
like
that's
Awakening.
not even close to like the
Hang on.
scale.
We
you know
still
what I
have
mean?
three more votes left.
I
We still have
know.
3 more votes left.
Okay.
All right, the poll is up. Watching this live, go ahead and vote for who you think should win. We will get to that in just a little bit. Embu, man, what are you thinking? I'm a little torn here.
Why are you
still
starting
don't really
with me?
understand. I just don't really understand half of what we talked about.
This is not cool.
I guess I'm
Okay.
probably gonna vote.
I'll say it first. All
Go for
right.
it.
I think that at the end of the day, we're talking about two people who would not lose a fight to nearly like any other character in their verse, in any other series we talked about. There's a reason why we keep bringing up these god tier characters in the chat that we've never done death battles about. That's like, this is clear. They have a competition in a small pool.
Yeah.
But I knew that Vincent had the materia heart implanted in him during the surgery. I think he got put in before Sephiroth was created. Anyways, not important.
Oh, he always
Honestly,
had it?
Yeah. Well, I think
I
he
didn't know
got
that.
taken out. But anyways, not important.
Yeah.
That's just like crazy. Like this man has like 6,000 like super generators and like infinite energy. It's like Tony Stark's arc reactor,
Yeah.
but on magical steroids. I got to give it to Vincent.
Okay. So we got one for Vash, one for Vincent. I'm leaning Vincent too. I think the speed kind of does it for me, but I feel like this is something that if we did an actual death battle with, there's probably a lot of stuff we just don't have at the moment that could throw it either way.
That's true.
All right, I'm giving it to Vincent. That's 2 Vincent.
Oh,
one
what the
Vash.
hell? Both of you?
Yeah. But hey,
Look at Lee.
it could be a tie. Which
Yeah.
then
I got
Could be a
the
tie.
community on my side. That's all that matters. I got
You-
Twitter.
we'll see.
You got
Maybe
the
they'll
people.
vote.
I know, no, I got
people's
Twitter.
vote.
I got Twitter. No, sorry, I got the community tab. So now we'll see if we'll see. We'll see. What
All
the
right,
chat
let's go ahead
says.
and bring up. Let's go ahead and end the community poll, or the chat poll, and bring it up and see who wins. 2 for Vincent, 1 for Vash. Here comes the.
Did we tell
poll.
Mike that we do this? Was he prepared for this?
I don't
I'm-
know.
I'm gonna guess
I just
no.
assumed he was, but maybe not. Scott, if you
End
send him an
poll.
image, that would be
Here we
great.
go.
Somebody send him an image.
All right, I just clicked end poll.
There we go. That works.
Yo.
Okay.
I got it. Yeah.
Vash.
All right,
You
I
guys
argued-
aren't
Wow.
paying
argued that.
attention. What is wrong?
Vash-
No, they are
Has-
paying attention. They're understanding it better.
Vash has
Convinced
56%
13% of them.
So that is wow. All right, we are at a tie, which means we're throwing you into the deep end with this one, Mike. Our tiebreaker is usually the
TD.
director of the show. Yeah, the TD of the show. So Mike, I don't know if you want to like chime in or however you want to,
Mike,
but
Mike,
let us know who you think
Mike,
wins,
Mike,
Vash or
Mike,
Vincent.
Mike,
That's going to be
Mike.
the deciding vote. Mike is currently running the show. He's the one who's making all of this go. And he gets to decide.
You can just tell us.
Yeah, you can
Let's
just
have
tell
it.
us however you'd like.
Can you hear me?
Got multiple things pulled open to just see if he
Can you
responds.
hear me now?
Oh yeah, we can hear you.
Okay. After listening to all that, I'm gonna have to
Can't
go Vash.
Vash, yeah,
You're
voted Vash?
insane.
yeah.
Oh my
There
god.
we go. Mike's got my back.
Ah.
All right,
That's
that's
okay.
it. Wow, that got
I
really
always lose the
close.
tiebreaker. Ah.
Oh my
The
gosh.
worst, not
All
like
right.
this.
I
That
really
was-
want to do this
this.
episode.
That
I
was
wanna
kind
do
of
it too.
insane. I
see.
really
I wanna
had
do it
no
too.
idea where that was going. All right, so Vash wins the community death battle. But if you guys want to see an actual death battle of this, let us know, because honestly, I think this could go either way at this point. Who the hell knows? Man, what a cool matchup. Also, what a confusing matchup. I still don't know half the shit that we talked about.
Maybe
I
we should
still
do
don't
Vash
understand the
versus
shit that we
Spike.
talked about.
That'd be fun.
Don't know why he needs a gun. This man doesn't need a gun.
Oh,
All right.
he is a gun. Like,
He
Thank you,
is.
everybody. All right, we got to wrap this up. Thank you, everybody, for joining us. It was great to see you all in the chat. Of course, again, if you do not watch us live, we are live every Tuesday at 3 p.m. Central Time. Keep an eye out for joining our Discord in the future. Also, go check out Desk of Death Battle if you have not watched it. Jocelyn is back, and she's talking about Superman first thing and some of the weird shit he's done. All right, and that's going to do it for today. So be kind to others, be kind to yourself, be awesome. We'll see you next week. Take care.
his other arm's also a machine gun.
You won. You
Yeah,
got
so
it.
We got
Barrett's.
the poll up.
Yeah. So
There
is
we go.
Barrett. That's impressive, my man Barrett.